WrestleMania 36 is finally over. And even though I was entertained, now I have to wait for a full year to get another WrestleMania. And hopefully this time we're getting a crowd, hopefully we're getting Roman Reigns. Imagine how Vince McMahon felt. That's not good shit. And hopefully we're getting the biggest rematch in WWE history. Obviously, I'm talking about Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. I cannot wait to relive that story. So even though WrestleMania 36 is over, I want to take this opportunity to talk about the pay-per-view for the last time. You see all of these matches right here? I want to rank these matches based on how good the match was, based on how good the story was, and based on how good the moment was. I know it might be unfair because obviously, this match, when it comes to the story, is going to be right here. This match, basically, everything about it, not including Lana's TikToks, by the way. Grown people are doing TikToks. I cannot stand TikTok. It's almost like it's unfair to all of these matches, you know? But we'll see how it goes. So let's talk about WrestleMania 36. The first match we are going to talk about is Elias versus King Corbin. This match is special, people. Maybe it's not John Cena versus Hulk Hogan kind of special, but it's pretty special because this man right here, the King, a guy who's wearing a crown in a wrestling ring, almost killed a guy with a guitar. Yes, he actually pushed Elias, and while it's not necessarily the sound of a concrete floor, it had a whoosh sound effect, it was still pretty good. And that was actually the only good thing about the storyline. The match itself was crappy, the moment itself was crappy, nobody won because basically Elias won with a roll-up, so who wins? No one really. It's WrestleMania, it should be more important. I'm gonna give it a D. Yes, I know I'm a bit harsh, but I want you to understand, the Great One's rankings are official. I'm as official as it gets, people. It's like WWE.com. You know how Pro Wrestling Insider claims to be the official whatever magazine, whatever it is of wrestling? Well, from now on, I'm the official one. You know, this is going to be in the record books, this list right here. And this match gets a D. Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. Yes, I'm spoiling you because I'm giving you that match already. Yes. Anyway, people, the story was great because for the first time, Brock Lesnar, not necessarily for the first time, but you get the point. Drew McIntyre is not a former champion, so it was special. Brock Lesnar was dominated by Drew McIntyre during the story. He was kind of scared of Drew McIntyre, even though he was also scared of Cain Velasquez. So, yeah, he was not as scared of Drew McIntyre, but, you know, Drew McIntyre beaten the living crap out of Brock Lesnar during the rivalry. My favorite segment was that one where Drew McIntyre got him with a bunch of claymores and then grabbed the title because Brock Lesnar yelled, "Get the title!" or something like that. That was actually very special. At WrestleMania, though, the match was not that good because, yes, we got a cow distracting Brock Lesnar, and we got a Claymore. I wish, man. I wish that was the case. No, that was not. So basically, let's talk about the match. It main evented WrestleMania as a whole because it main evented night 2, and the match was not very good. But I cared because I wanted Drew McIntyre to win the championship. It's all about the fan investment, and that's why I'm not gonna give it a C or B because I cared about this match. So the story was good, the match was not. The investment was here, I think people cared, and the moment was absolutely amazing. So the match was basically a finisher after finisher, 3 claymores, Drew McIntyre wins the match. What a great moment. He looks at the camera, he broke the rule actually. People in the WWE are not allowed to do that. They cannot look straight into the camera when they win a championship because, you know, that's what people don't do in movies as well. So he did that because he wanted to let fans know that he felt the energy. So I appreciate that moment. I believe it was pretty good. Would have been better with the crowd, but you know, what can you do? I'm gonna give it an A. I think it was pretty good for what it was. The match itself was not bad, but everything else kind of compensated for that. We are going to talk about Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. This actually kicked off night 1. I don't know, man, the story was not there. All I remember is Asuka dancing, which I'm not a fan of, again. The match was, it was alright. You know, it was alright, it wasn't bad. The moment was, like I've said, it didn't feel important enough. Because I feel like it really needed a crowd. Even though Drew McIntyre winning the championship needed a crowd as well, this one just didn't feel special enough. There was no story, there was nothing. So, again, but I do appreciate Babyface winning the championships. So it wasn't that bad. I'm gonna give it a C. I'm not very harsh, man, in this review. By the way, keep in mind, as official as it gets, WWE.com approved. I actually spoke to Vince, and he said, I don't care, there's no Roman. So he gave me a pass. Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, or I should say Goldberg versus Braun Strowman. So the story is Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, but do I even need to talk about the story? Even though it was bad, it was basically Roman saying, I'm privileged, I'm the face of the company, I'm next, lol. Doesn't matter. We didn't get that match. It was announced that Braun Strowman is going to be Goldberg's opponent. We didn't get a single segment. We didn't get a single interview. Nothing at all. It was basically, Strowman, you're facing Goldberg right now. Damn it. I can't stand WrestleMania. WrestleMania with Roman this is not WrestleMania, damn it. That's not good shit. The point I'm trying to make is there's no story. We can only talk about the match. When it comes to Braun Strowman versus Goldberg, that was a horrible match. That was one of the worst matches you've probably seen. Now, I was impressed with Goldberg. He seemed younger. He was quick. We got a bunch of spears, the moveset is top notch. But look, people, it was finisher after finisher, and unlike in Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar match, nobody really cared. Braun Strowman made some stupid comments. People kind of lost interest. He was already ruined by booking, so it was just, it was bad. Although I gotta say, I'm not gonna give it a D because I was shocked, and that is very good. I was 100% sure that Goldberg is going to retain the championship, but I was wrong, which doesn't happen very often, except it does, but you get the point. I think most of us thought that Braun Strowman is going to lose the match, but he did win. I'm gonna give it a C, man. As you can see, we don't have a bunch of categories. Keep that in mind, D is bad, C is below average. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Honestly, the story wasn't that good, but I do appreciate Charlotte Flair choosing the NXT title because it legitimized the championship. The story was, like I've said, not the best, but it was alright. When it comes to the match itself, one of the best matches of WrestleMania. Hands down. Probably top 4, The moment, it pissed a lot of people off, but at the end of the day, if Charlotte would lose the match, that wouldn't change anything. Now, she's probably going to be on NXT a lot, and she's going to defend the championship against different women because Charlotte already achieved everything, on Raw and Smackdown. So I feel like it was a good moment. The match was very good, very long. You know what? Man, I'm going to give it an S. This match would be right here, but you see, people, it would be unfair because, well, the match itself was not that good. The moment was great. So I hope you understand. This one, I want to give it a C, but this is my list. Even though it's official, it's my list. I'm gonna give it a D. Look, people, I didn't care about the match. It was supposed to be Andrade and Angel Garza, but since it was Finn Balor 2.0 and Angel Garza, it became predictable. And it's a match that we already seen many times on Raw. Even after WrestleMania, before WrestleMania, and a bunch of 6-man tag team matches. I'm still not a fan of the Street Profits. I think they're kind of annoying, to be quite honest with you. So it didn't do anything for me. It wasn't a bad match, but there was no story, there was no moment, and I'm just, by the way, they retained the titles, so in case you didn't know. The Fiend versus John Cena. Let's talk about this one. So during my review, I said, I don't know what it's all about, it was confusing, whatever it was, and people thought that I didn't get the hints, I didn't get the idea behind this match. Everyone did. It does make you a genius to figure that out, that it was basically John Cena facing his fears. People got the references. My point that I didn't understand the match was that I don't understand, I know it's Bray Wyatt, but how is that possible? I don't really want it to be possible. I don't need an explanation. I just want to know what even was that. Was that Bray Wyatt's dream? Was that John Cena's dream? Why would John Cena be dressed as NWO? Why would he not do anything to Bray Wyatt during these segments? It was bizarre in that aspect because it didn't make any sense. Now, it was great. Of course it was. I loved it. I'm just saying that it was so bizarre. It made zero sense. Nothing in the WWE ever made less sense than this match. And that is good. I like it. Again, it was entertaining as hell. I'm just saying that I didn't understand it, But it was funny, although I gotta say the ending really disappointed me because I expected at least 2 minutes of moves, cinematic stuff, but we didn't get that. It was basically a finisher and that's how it ended. But I think it was decent. I'm gonna give it an A. Yeah, that was one of the highlights of the show. Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. I'm gonna give it a C because the match itself was not horrible. The story, by the way, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt story was amazing. Just lovely stuff. Amazing promos. I forgot to talk about it. Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. The story was decent. I wasn't really into it, but that segment where, we got Vampire Shayna Baszler, cool stuff. Now, the match. The match wasn't that good, but it was not bad either. I appreciate the beginning of the match, the punches, the sound. I thought it's going to be an MMA style of match, but it wasn't, unfortunately. So I'm gonna give it a C because it wasn't horrible, but the finish was just horrendous. It's WrestleMania. Again, Becky Lynch wins with some kind of a roll-up or whatever. So Shayna loses, just like that. It felt unimportant. Again, it changes absolutely nothing. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. This video led to this moment, people. This video led to this moment. It's like, people keep asking for these dream matches, And WWE, out of nowhere, couple of days before WrestleMania said, you know what? Sting versus The Undertaker, right? Okay, Michaels versus AJ Styles. I got something better. Why don't we give the fans Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley? And the cherry on top is that there's no story. Yes, now you don't know what's gonna happen. There's no story. Lashley is big, strong. Aleister Black is mysterious. It writes for itself, man. So it's like, if we had something above this, I would put it right here, You understand my point? But, okay, it was horrible. It was horrible. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. WWE lost me with the story very quickly. I liked when Seth Rollins turned heel, but then we got a bunch of 8-man tag team matches with Viking Raiders, Street Profits, Buddy Murphy, AOP. Every week it ended every single Monday Night Raw, and I've lost interest for months. The only time I started caring about this match again was when we didn't have a crowd anymore, and we got an amazing promo by Seth Rollins. Next week we got an amazing promo by Kevin Owens. And the match itself really surprised me, and if I'm being honest, one of the best matches of the night. I'm gonna give it a B, because it was still a very long story, even though it wasn't my cup of coffee. I believe most people liked it. The moment was pretty good as well. Kevin Owens, made a WrestleMania moment by jumping off that WrestleMania logo. So it was a success. It was definitely a success. It was a good moment, great match, and the story is arguably good, I guess. So I'm gonna give it a B. Women's Fatal 5-Way. So yeah, this didn't have a story. Paige played the role of a general manager because she can make matches right now, I guess. Can Primo make matches? He should. He should make matches. Yeah. Is there anything this man can do? Anyway, let's talk about this one. There was no story, first of all. And it was, I believe most of you agree with me, nobody cared about the match, but it was like, okay, at least we're getting that payoff. We're getting Bayley versus Sasha at the end of the match. We didn't get that. Sasha got eliminated, and it was basically Lacey Evans versus Bayley. And Lacey didn't even win the championship. We almost got Bayley versus Sasha. They were arguing, but it never led to anything. And, Bayley retained the title. So, I don't know what to say, man. I didn't like it. I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give it a C. I didn't like it. Undertaker versus AJ Styles. Okay, first of all, right here. That was, for me, the match of the night, the match of both nights, the match of WrestleMania. It wasn't even a match, but the amount of effort put into this whole video package, whatever it was, absolutely outstanding, man. I loved it. I was the edge of my seat during this whole match. We got The Undertaker as a biker. Undertaker playing Mark Galloway, whatever his name is. Awesome. We got him destroying AJ Styles. AJ Styles got buried. One of the best things I've seen in wrestling, to be quite honest with you. So I'm gonna give it an S. Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. The story is very long and in a way entertaining. Not every story needs to be your Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho, you know. Some stories need to be a bit goofy, a bit, romantic and stuff, whatever. You get the point. So it was decent. I appreciate the hacker stuff. And the match itself, I don't know. It was not really about the match in this one. It was mostly moments. We got Dolph Ziggler and Sonya Deville, and then we got Mandy Rose interfering. She kicked Dolph Ziggler in the bowels into cojones, which arguably Dolph Ziggler has none. In this match at least. With this Dolph Ziggler character, he has none. Primo has cojones, and Vladimir Kozlov, I can tell you that for sure. I feel like it was a decent WrestleMania moment, Otis winning the match, getting the girl, they kissed, and yeah, it was a decent WrestleMania moment. I'm gonna give it a B. Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn was kinda disappointing. It was not bad, the story was crappy, of course. We didn't even have a crowd for this one, at all, so maybe that was the issue. I'm not really into this whole Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura thing, by the way. I love Sami, but this is just not really working for me. So this was not bad, but the match was kind of disappointing. I expected a bit more because they mostly focused on people around the ring, instead of each other. Which kind of makes sense for Sami Zayn's character, but still. The moment itself was kind of meh as well because Sami retained. I'm gonna give it a C because during my WrestleMania review, I actually praised this match. Looking back, it wasn't that good. Okay, so let's talk about the tag team titles match. You know what, people? I'm gonna give it an A. You know what? Nah. Okay, the story wasn't good. The story wasn't good. It was, by the way, a triple threat match instead of a tag team match. The story wasn't good because I'm tired of the Usos, I'm tired of the New Day, so I wasn't really invested. I just knew it's going to be a great match. And the match was good, it was great. You could say the match of the night, actually, as a normal match, if we're not counting The Undertaker and AJ Styles. This actually is the match of the night. But even though it was a great match, again, the story wasn't there, so I'm gonna give it an A, even though it was very good. Very good. It's still very good. And Randy Orton versus Edge. A very controversial match because people seem to think that it's very long. And my answer to that is maybe. Maybe. I don't think so, honestly. But you're entitled to your opinion. I just made a joke that maybe you have some attention span issues. Anyway, jokes aside, yes, it was a long match. Maybe it dragged a little. But again, it's a WrestleMania match. They were fighting all over the Performance Center. They used everything. It was emotional, it was great, it had great storytelling in my opinion. And even though some spots didn't really do it for me as well, the ending made it worth it. After a very long match, after a very long fight rather, we got Edge winning. We got Edge crying, we got Edge using the steel chair, that's how the storyline actually started. Very emotional, and you can see how much the acting career benefited Edge, man. You can see how much it actually helped him in the WWE as well. So, when it comes to the story, by the way, that's actually my favorite story when it comes to wrestling in a very long time. So, I don't know, man. This is my list, official, WWE.com approved, Vince McMahon approved, because there's no Roman Reigns, he doesn't care. I want to give it this, but I'm gonna give it an A because, let's be honest, all of these matches are very close to this. And I don't know how I feel about this one being right here. I'm gonna move it right here because I didn't like it more than John Cena versus Bray Wyatt and this, and yeah, this is my personal list, I don't care. So, yeah, this is my final list, people. I guess my favorite thing was AJ Styles versus The Undertaker. It looks about right. Let me know your list in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video. The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.